monsieur. There we are. There we are. Hi, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen. So we're actually trying a new system of microphones. Can you please let us know if you're hearing us just fine? Hi, Anna Marie. Good morning. Can we just do a check? Hey, Marlene. Hi, Donna. Nice to see you. Wendy and David are here. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Catherine. Now you're here. Oh, hi, Ruth Shalom. So you can hear us.
So
great.
then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back there and talk so we can see if both mics are working.
Okay, we're going to see. We have a double mic system here.
So,
Hi, Cindy.
if you can
Hey,
hear
Sandra.
me now.
Hi there. Now,
if you can hear me talking, then it's.
Can you hear
we know
Mike?
that
Can you
both
hear Mark,
mics are
everyone?
working.
we're.
Welcome
Hi,
to
Dan. You can hear
beautiful
fine. Can you
sunny
hear Mark
Amsterdam.
now?
Doing a mic test.
Yeah.
Wondering if you can also hear
Hi.
me.
Person. You are hearing him. Okay.
Great.
Seems
Okay.
we are working. Looks like we have the road. So, ladies. Hi, Diane. Nice to see you. Martine. The double jokes too. No, we're not telling any jokes. We don't believe in any of that sort of thing. So we are here in Amsterdam, the city, of course, up here in the Netherlands, and we are not biking because unfortunately Mark has been injured, and he would have been driving the tandem at the front, and so.
Yeah, that wouldn't have worked. Just with I can't make a fist around the handlebar, and we would have ended up on the ground with a broken wrist or something. So yeah, sorry, no tandem today.
So but we promise to show you lots of bicycles. there's not going to be an issue. Look at the weather here, ladies and gentlemen. So by the way, it's always gorgeous and sunny in the Netherlands. I mean, it's famous for this, and very hilly as well. I do keep using my altitude app to find out how above or below sea level I am. So. Yeah, Ruth is saying she hopes you're not in pain. Hey, Nancy, nice to see you. Is it throbbing a little bit, or how's it feeling now?
I'm fine. Let's move on from the finger. Thank you for your concern, everybody.
But we are right down by the famous Central Station. Let me just flip this around for the fun of it. Look at that fabulous building. So I arrived, I guess, 3 days ago and hopped on the train from Schiphol, and it was like 14 minutes or something, and boom, I was here. And I've been taking trams around the city. So Mark and Eric's places are fantastic, and they're out on an island, and it's only about 3 kilometers away, so it is walkable, but we've been taking trams around. Hi, Phil, nice to see you, buddy. Hi, Casey. And last night we went out for Latin American music, and it was an interesting trio actually performing, because one was Brazilian, one was Chilean, and the other one was?
From Mexico. And actually many voyagers may have seen them, Tres Galantes, because I've streamed them a few times.
Yeah, I do remember you, sir. I remember watching one time. Yeah, it was a lovely evening out. So obviously I'm walking along with Mark here, who is a professional guide, and we did just
How's that for professional?
That was very professional. And we had lunch with Lee. So Lee gives hugs to all of you, but she is out actually guiding for the next 8 hours. So we were hanging out with her and our gorgeous little puppy. But we just sort of thought, because we're not biking today, so we thought it'd just be fun to come out, and because I'll be able to keep this on YouTube, it's sort of nice to catch some of the famous spots here in Amsterdam. Now, needless to say, this city, hi Rosie, this city is really a whole sort of series of semicircular canals that come off the Amstel River. And we were on the Amstel River the other day, which was just gorgeous. So when I arrived here, I hopped off the train. I had flown over to London, and then I just hopped over here. And these 3 of them picked me up, and we hopped on a boat. And goodness me, we spent about an hour and a half going right up the Amstel and around, and then we parked right at Mark and Eric's house. So it was about as civilized a way you could arrive into this city. Look at that, the Bulldog Gottenhaven. See how busy it is here now. Obviously, it's lovely weather just at the moment. I'm glad you're hearing us all so well. So, and of course, our friend Dave Kavanagh was here, and he flew home last night, and we just had a great time with Dave. It was so nice of him to come over and join us. Like everything, I always wish I had more time than I actually do, but that's the nature of the beast a little bit. Now, tell me about this building right over here, Mark.
Yeah, that was the Lloyd's insurance building, and it was the sculptures are the most interesting. They were designed by Mendes da Costa, a Jewish sculptor, and yeah, it was on my detailed Amsterdam tour, the second one. So if you want to have an in-view thing of that building, detailed Amsterdam 2, really beautiful sort of early 1900s sculptures.
It certainly feels early 1900s. And this place over here is going bananas, but it's but it's neat to see. So we actually had lunch with Lee in this building just the other day. So I've been eating a lot of croquettes while I'm here. So, and then I love the place over there with all the Dutch cheeses. Of course, oh, sorry, we're being directed. Yeah. There they go. Sorry, lots of rules about who and where and when we can cross the streets. Hi, Diane. Jay, nice to see you. Hi, Vi. Oh, Vi, I don't fly home for ages. Thanks for asking. No, I'm taking a train down to Paris tomorrow. And tomorrow I'm very, very excited because I am going to go for dinner with one of my only 2 cousins in the world. So one of my cousins lives in Paris. She grew up in New Zealand and she has an Irish passport and therefore can live in Paris. And I was last over there with Finn a few years ago. And then I'm heading out to Normandy. So I don't go home till June 6th, everyone, via Frankfurt into Calgary. So really I just tagged on these few days just honestly to come and see Mark and Lee and Eric. And it's just so lovely being back here. I was trying to add it up. I hadn't been back here for 13 years. And I say that because we were living in Paris when Finn was 2 to 3. I did a graduate degree there. And we came up here and friends from Canada came over. And that's why we keep calling it Amsterdam, because we had kids with us and they honestly thought that's what the name of the city was.
And hey, what I wanted to say the other day on the boat, you mentioned Amsterdam. And I did tell you that hamsteren means to hoard, but they use the word hamsteren to hoard like we use squirreling away. So it's kind of funny that you got these 2 little animals that kind of fill their cheeks up probably.
Well,
so that's what makes Amsterdam. I always laugh when you say Amsterdam because they often say hamsteren here.
And they're
completely unrelated, yeah.
Well, it was interesting. Now I did sell my van, but when I opened up the engine, I had to spend about 3 hours cleaning out cones that squirrels had actually squirreled away inside the engine of my van. It actually smelled beautiful when I was driving. You got this nice pine smell through it.
Okay.
Look at the tramway system. So I'm using my credit card, by the way, to tap in and out of the trams. So I'm going to have to check the card after and see that it's calculating it out. But boy, getting around Europe has gotten so much easier that way. I do this in London now too. I just tap in and out and I hop on trains. And I presume I'll be doing that down in Paris. I'm not sure. So it's lovely to have everyone here. We actually have a nice crowd on. So here's the Damrak Centrum. And in fact, we saw one of those damn boats today, actually, the Holland America ships. There's a cruise ship in. But check this out. And this is actually a fun little memory for Mark and I, because the last time we did a tour together was in Bruges, if you will remember, in Belgium. And we talked about the oldest stock market in the world, where here's the Beursplein. So here is the stock market here in the Netherlands. By some measures, this is the longest continuously traded real estate in the world. But it's interesting to see all of the, they have the bull, just like if you've been to Wall Street, of course, in New York there as well. So this is a massive trading country, and you'll see ING coming by, of course, famous Dutch bank. I would imagine that a huge part of the stock market here would be shipping and transport, I would expect.
Well, I don't know. It's a huge, you can see the main companies, the Dutch companies, Shell, Philips.
Shell is a distinctly bad company, isn't it? Yeah. And the euro's trading at 107. That's interesting.
ABN, Amsterdam General Bank, which you can actually make a direct line of exploitation right from the Dutch East India Company through to the Dutch Trading Company, which then morphed into ABN Bank, which merged with Amsterdam Rotterdam Bank, which gives you ABN AMRO. Oh, it's 400 years of exploitation.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot
By the way, Anna-Marie, your birthday is June 6th, is it? Hola, Salam. Hola, bienvenidos. Bueno, hacemos un tour en español también si quieren. Now, you do know, of course, that the Netherlands was under the Spanish crown for quite a long period of time, and then became independent from the Spanish crown, and then Belgium broke away. So, you know, one of these great trading nations and great shipping nations. So it's lovely having people here from around the world. How many people on board have actually been to Amsterdam before? It's obviously an extremely international city, very, very diverse. Do you know one of the things that I find fascinating about this city is, if you're familiar with sociology at all, you might have heard of the term ethnomethodology. That's how they measure how people get around in confined areas. And here in this city, you can have canal boats and bicycles and trams and cars and pedestrians and tourists, and they all have to get across the streets at the same time. So it's a very, very interesting study. Ruth, the airport sort of counts. Schiphol Airport is often considered one of the nicer airports in the world. Do they still have a casino in that airport? I remember years ago.
Not that I'm aware of. But you gamble with your luggage whenever you go there.
Well, it took forever for the luggage to come out, actually, to be fair. You'll see, of course, the famous triple X signs, the flag of the city of Amsterdam. And I know it often has different connotations, but it's actually, it's plague and famine.
No, that's misinformation. The honest answer is nobody has the faintest clue what it stands for. A lot of tour guides will say it stands for the three perils that faced the city: fire, flood, and plague. But that's actually just making it up. It's been around since the beginning, before they actually had the plague. There's a couple of ideas, but honestly, the honest answer is nobody knows.
How
And we can be fine with that. We don't have to know everything. I'd rather say nobody knows than make something up. Okay, I can make something up.
All the years I brought tours here on the boats, they always told you that story, though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know. There's a lot of stories like that.
Yeah. So we're coming up to famous Dam Square. You'll see Madame Tussauds. I'm amazed it's still open, but the big central square here.
I had a quiz question about this, and somebody got it right on the tours. There's two figures outside Madame Tussauds, right up on the building. One of them is a famous Dutch admiral, and the other one, I never knew who it was. Lee and I actually went there and asked, and they didn't know, and somebody went to the office and they found out, and then somebody guessed it in the quiz.
And what's the answer?
A member of the public. It's
Really?
us.
It's us.
That guy up there, it's us.
Oh, how cool is
We
that?
met her.
I'm just gonna come and show the War Memorial over here. So here we are at Dam Square.
We can jaywalk anywhere across here, by the way.
I'm just framing this up for a photo at the moment. That's so we're really in the heart and soul of everything. Oh, Vi is asking where the highest percentage of immigrants come from. Would you have some of those raw stats?
Well, that's really difficult to say because, I mean, there were immigrant groups who are now Dutch because of second and third generation Dutch now. But let's just get away from her and just talk a bit loudly. The big groups of immigrants were, of course, what were called Indo, so people of Dutch and Indonesian mixed heritage, mixed ancestry. Then a bunch of people from Suriname, Morocco and Turkey are the biggest immigrant groups, but of course now they're, their kids are Dutch.
Generational, yeah. Well, yeah, of course, Suriname, Paramaribo, I think, is the capital, isn't it?
Paramaribo, yeah. So when that became independent, people there were given the option of coming here and taking on Dutch citizenship, which many, many, many did.
So sorry, I'm just clarifying. Is it actually your birthday right now, Anna Marie? Because if it is, of course, we will sing. Oh, D-Day is your birthday. I see. Yes. Oh, so there's obviously a bit of a Palestinian thing going on over here.
This is Saturday protesting. There'll be lots of protests. We can have a look around at some of them. A whole bunch of different ones. Normally you get like the pro-Palestine ones right next to the pro-Israel protests as well.
Well, we'll go pull out our Israeli flag.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go and say shalom.
Shalom.
Okay.
Do you, I remember being in Casablanca one time with my dad, and Finn was about 2.5, and we walked right through a protest there.
Should I say Shabbat Shalom to the Palestinians?
I think you should. If you do look back here, that's a royal palace, is it not?
It is now, yeah. It started as the city hall in 1648, 1665.
Now here's a German bus.
Napoleon's brother made it into a palace.
Napoleon's brother. And what did Napoleon call this place?
Yeah, he referred to Holland as the alluvial deposits of some of the major rivers of my empire.
Oh, we got some Falun Gong as well going on. And I'm really struggling with Falun Gong. I used to think I support them, but I don't think I do anymore. So I feel like I need to know more before I comment on that particular one. And there is a pirate over there as well. Oh, all right. So, all right, well, we'll move away from this noise here, shall we? Oh, and I speak Jesus over fear and all anxiety.
Oh, it's the Hallelujah one.
Oh, hold on. Sin separates us from God. Huh. I am just going to refrain from offering any comments there. So everything is feeling very lively out here at the
I
moment.
want to show you how to make pigeons take off. Watch.
Oh, you're gonna make. Oh, okay, Mark is gonna have. Hey, good morning, Margaret.
I could do that all day. Actually, I do.
World press photo. Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous?
Oh, that's really always very sobering. And the World Press Photo Exhibition starts here and then goes around the world. And it's obviously there's different categories, but there's a lot of very, very moving Ukrainian photographs this year.
I would imagine. Debbie was just saying, is that right? So Debbie, I was your first and Mark was your second. Debbie has been coming on Hago tours with us, but you know, I'm using the Streamlabs now, and isn't the streaming just excellent? So I'm actually obviously using my Canadian phone, which is ridiculously expensive, but
hey, so those of you like Ruth, for example, you can see how Patrick's stream is here in Amsterdam compared to my YouTube stream in the same place, as there are differences. Like, you don't have to answer now, but it would be nice to talk about that later.
This certainly has been working. Isn't that music great? It has been working really well. It took me a little while to get it working, but look at this gorgeous building here.
Now, that was built as the post office in the late 1800s, because communication is important.
And the Port Van Cleve, so this is the
Port
key of
Van
the port?
Cleve was actually, that building was a brewery that was bought by Heineken before Heineken.
That's lovely, I'll drink to that. So Heineken is massive as a company, of course. One of the big distilling. Look at all the bikes everywhere around. We actually saw a truck coming by today with a whole bunch of old bikes on it. So Mark explained to me that if bikes haven't moved for so many weeks, they go and put like a little fine tag around them. And if the tag has not been taken away after a few more weeks, then they give you a warning, and then they pick the bikes up and they remove them. And it's a way of just sort of cleaning up the whole system. But it is neat in a city like this, where how small impact many people's footprints are, which is, I think, a really neat element to living
which is
here.
funny because the Dutch have quite big feet as well.
Oh, you were clogging up the. Oh, I had to fudge this one here, but we're down here on the canal. Was historically the most valuable enterprise in the history of humanity, even more today than if you put Tesla and Apple together. Dutch East India would actually be worth more. But it was, of course, a horrendous form of servitude and enslavement, particularly in Indonesia, of course. And so it's amazing how recent so much of that history is. But I actually had an Indonesian meal just the other day. Jay's saying if someone wants to reclaim a bike, would they pay a fine? Or at the point at which it's been removed?
I think you do have to pay something. I've never done it, so I can't quite remember. I have to look it up, but I do believe so, yes, you have to pay a fine.
Right. So here we are in amongst these. See some of these old bikes down here. Check this out for a second.
Yeah, this bike has clearly been in the canal.
Yeah, this one is.
So people do magnet fishing.
Do you know, I watch YouTube videos of that, where they do this magnet fishing. They throw magnets into the canals.
Canal water is not so good for bicycles,
no.
as you can see.
Although what I was very interested in when we were out on the canals the other day, and you were saying this is predominantly fresh water out here.
It is, eh?
It is, but it becomes, I mean, it has to be partially brackish, I would think.
Well, ever so slightly. You know, with the cruise ships coming in from the North Sea through the locks at IJmuiden, a little bit of seawater comes through, but those locks are actually designed to try and flush the seawater from in the lock chamber out to sea, even though the ship's coming in. But it is ever so slightly brackish.
Huh, yeah. It certainly feels brackish, but yeah.
Oh, look, I often show
yep.
the small house, but the roses are in bloom.
Oh, they're just gorgeous. I was just looking at the statue back here.
Yeah.
Look at this.
You'll like him. You'll like him.
Look at this.
Now this little house is cheating a little bit because it's a trumpet alley and it gets to quite wide at the back, about 5 meters across. But it's nice to see the roses in bloom. Let's have a closer look.
It's gorgeous to see them. Oh. And you'll notice everyone riding their bikes are not wearing helmets, by the way. They do a ton of research here on bike accidents, but they're very upright. Love is a rose, but you better not pick it. It only grows when it's on the vine. Everyone knows little Nana.
Very pretty.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah.
So we can go and talk about this dude over here.
Yeah.
He looks like Albert Einstein, but isn't Albert Einstein.
I believe he was born in 1820.
You're almost like quite psychic, Patrick.
Almost.
Amazing.
Um,
You'll
Hey,
like him
thanks,
very
man.
much,
Appreciate that.
actually, Patrick, because he used to work in the colonial office in Indonesia in the 1800s, clearly, and he was not happy about the exploitation of the Indonesians by the Dutch.
Yeah.
He tried to change the system from within. Nobody wanted to know about it, so he wrote a book called Max Havelaar, exposing these systems, and people here were quite horrified, realizing that their comfortable lives are being underpinned by so much exploitation the other side of the globe, and things started to change for the better. He was very important. He was a feminist. He believed women should have the vote. Decades before that
Decades
was
before,
fashionable.
yeah.
You know.
What year did women achieve suffrage in the
A year
Netherlands?
after the US. So here, or before, it was 1919. I think it was 1920 in the US.
It was 1919, yeah. But, yeah.
I thought it was a year before the US. I might be wrong, but it's around the same sort of time, basically.
Yeah, yeah. So,
This wide canal here was part of the moat of the old city, and now we're going into the 1600s expansion of the canal belt. So where rich merchants could
So we're
build nice
transitioning.
houses.
Oh, look at this gorgeous building over here. But I gather this is a cannabis
coffee
shop.
shop,
Is it?
yeah.
A coffee shop. Yeah. Geez, smells like Canada.
It's
but
called
it's,
grey area because it's a legal grey area.
Yeah. Oh, there's a Filipino flag. That's neat to see. But it's definitely connected now.
Okay, so we're not on.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Can you send me a message this way?
Frames now.
But are we getting any?
Probably some are having
Maybe there's
changed right now, Martine. Martine,
I
that
want to avoid that.
But look at it. Look at
Oh,
that
that
charcuterie. Doesn't that look just lovely?
Wow, that's so
What?
They've really pushed the boat out.
What a nice. It's Joanne saying it could be all houses. So we're here, but we've dropped from 70 odd people to 23, and now it's bouncing around.
Okay.
Well,
Well, if it's still recording, we should just go out to carry on. And
Sandra's saying, yeah, we'll walk around.
that
Yep.
coming platform you're using, it doesn't happen when I use YouTube by itself. Seriously, I've done all this area on YouTube, and it's been fine.
Yeah. Oh, every time. Hi, Jay. It's good to be back where we belong.
Hey, look, here's a beautiful flower bike.
See it bouncing in and out. Very surprising because it was a good, strong connection at the beginning. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, if you're able to hear us here, if by chance you're able to hear this, it just is clearly cutting out all the time. So I am going to bring it to an end. We're not that far from Anne Frank's house, that's right. But it is 2 frames per minute. So I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, fortunately, because it's cutting out so much,